Good evening and welcome to my Facebook Live. Let me put me up there so you can actually see me. That's better. Welcome. My name is Michele and I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up here in New South Wales, Australia. Please jump on and say hello because I'd love to say hello back to you, and let me know where you're from if you're visiting for the first time. Today what we're going to do is we're going to roll the dice again. We did this last week. We're going to do it again tonight and see what sort of card we're going to make. So this sort of event does take a little bit longer because I do have to, when I roll the dice, I don't know what I'm going to be doing prior to me rolling the dice. So then we have to sort out colours and stamp sets and things like that. I do have a few beside me here. And I'm hoping that we might have a chance of playing with some of those because I've just received them today in the mail. So let me turn my camera down and let's get started. Now, by the way, too, let me just move that down. All products I'm using tonight, as I said before, are from Stampin' Up. If you wish to purchase any of the products I'm using tonight, you can do that through me if you live here in Australia, and you can do that at michellejutrissa.stampinup.net, or you can go to my blog, which is Butterflies and Bows, and you will find a link there. Okay, so here are my dice. So let's throw the dice and see what happens. I'm just going to roll one at a time. So first off, I've got the one here, which is colours. So let's find out what sort of colour we're going to use tonight. We're going to use our in colours. Beautiful. Okay, what style of card? So if I get the 3x3, I may change that to a tag. Let's see how we go. Oh, we're going to use Memories and More cards. I'm going to rethrow that because I don't have any of the current Memories and More cards at the moment. So let's just change that one and see what we come up with. We're going to do a standard card. That makes things a little bit easier for me. Okay, now, what type of card? Is it going to be a birthday card? Is it going to be a thank you card? I really should get a box and a cup to throw these in. These dice are huge. Okay, we're going to do a sympathy card. Okay, we always need a sympathy card, one of the hardest cards to make. Okay. Let's find out what sort of elements we're going to use. Are we going to be using ribbon or I've got tags on this one. Let's have a look. And it's come up tags, and because we're doing sympathy, I'm not going to use tags. I'm terribly sorry. Let's roll this dice again and see what comes up. Tags a second time. Let's go again. Okay, we're going to use some die cuts. And then the last one is whether we're going to be doing some colouring, some two-step or some masking. Oh, there we go. It wants to do some two-step stamping. So we're going to be using our ink colours. Now with our ink colours, we've got quite a bit to choose from because we've got our last year's ink colours and our this year's ink colours. So because we are going to do a sympathy card, I'm actually going to work with the ink colours for the 2023 to 25. Hi, Deborah. How are you? It's good to have you on here. And you've got in that Copper Clay, Wild Wheat, Boho Blue, Moody Mauve, and Pebble Path. So we'll wait and see what stamp set we might use. And I've got a feeling I might just, let me have a look here. I've got here next to me, let's have a look at these sentiments. Sending hugs. So happy to celebrate you. Best wishes. Thinking of you. Thank you so much. There's not much these days, I don't think, in a sympathy. So let's just have a look what else I've got here next to me. That one's definitely not a sympathy. I'll have to have a look. I like these leaves. This is a new one I've just received. I'll have to get the punch that it says I've got to use a die cut. Okay, yep, we can use a die cut for this, but I also may use a punch and use these leaves. That could be a good one for a sympathy. So I'll keep that to one side. This is one of the stamp sets I've just received recently, and I'll show you the die that corresponds with this one. Okay, so we're going to do a standard size card, and I usually like to do my 10-fold cards. We're going to do a sympathy card. We're going to use a die cut, and we're going to do two-step stamping. And this one here does allow us to do a little bit of two-step stamping because you've got the outline stamp here, and then we have the leaves here that we can use. So I think I can get away with using this one for a two-step stamping, but I just need to find a sympathy sentiment. I do have some sympathy ones, but they're not current. So we'll see how we go. Okay, so let me just grab some of those. So we've got boho blue, which is that blue. We've got wild wheat. We've got copper clay. Let me just grab all of these. And I'll grab the punch that goes with that. So we've got whoops, everything just fell down. That's all right. That one there is pecan pie, copper clay, okay, and I might use very vanilla. Let me just have a look at what sympathy stamps I've got. Okay, that one would work. Okay, so that's the bow punch, and that actually goes with the layering leaves. So I just need to get a die cut, and I'm going to swap out my cut and emboss machine for my large one. And I'm going to use an embossing folder. So we can add a few extras to this as long as we cover what's in our dies. Okay, so let's have a look. I'm going to grab all the ink pads because I'm not quite sure what colours exactly I'm going to use. Pecan pie, pebble puff. What have I missed? I think I might leave the... Hold on a sec. The copper clay is right down the very bottom. And I've got one colour missing. So we've got wild wheat, pecan pie, pebble path, and boho blue. There we go. Okay, let me get settled down here again. So, Deborah, you're not working tonight? It's good to have you on here. Okay, then. So let me have a look and see what we can do. We still need to put some die cuts in here. So I've got the stylish shapes here. I'm going to use one of those. And it'll be one of those two circles, I think. The sentiment I'm going to be using is with Deeper Sympathy. That's from Something Fancy. Okay. So what colour are we going to make our card base? I haven't got Pebble Path there. There we go. I think I'm going to have to get myself a chair on rollers. Makes it a lot easier for getting on. Okay. Now, what colour card? I always tend to like to go to the boho blue because it's always, I find these other colours are, I love the wild wheat because it gives me a nice goldy colour. I haven't used much of the other three colours, but I do, and I like the boho blue. I use that a lot. And these are all quite masculine colours. So looking at a sympathy card, what could we do? I'm trying to think because I'm not actually going to be adding any green into this. And I'm thinking what I might do is my stamping in some of these colours. I think I will do my card in the boho blue. Or I could do my card in the very vanilla and just do my stamping and die cutting in the other colours. I think we might just start by cutting and just see where these things take us. Okay, because otherwise I could sit all night and procrastinate on this. So let's just get started. I'm going to start by making my card base in the blue. Only because I think that even though blues tend to be a masculine colour, it is this colour, this boho blue, can be very feminine as well. So it wouldn't matter whether this was going to a man or a woman. So I'm cutting my card stock at 10.5 centimetres and I'm scoring it at 14.9 to give me a 10th fold card. Okay, then I think I'm going to cut in my very vanilla. I'll also cut, I like to start most of my cards off for all my layers at a 10.5 by my 14.9 and cut it down from there. And even if I'm going to do this a little bit backwards, this is going to be my card insert, which is going to be by 10 by 14.4. Now, I will put all this on my blog in the next few days. So that can be on the inside of my card. I'm thinking I don't want to just have a flat piece of cardstock, and I don't really just want to go that to that, because I'm going to do, okay, I might just leave that on there. We may not even do any embossing yet, but I do still have to do some die cutting, and I think we might die cut our circle in this piece here. And I've just realised something. Bear with me. I'm going to grab some designer series paper that I have got in our in colours. Sometimes I wish all this was at my fingertips, but it's not quite. And this just may change us from using very vanilla to white, because the colour in the background of this is white. So let's just wait. Well, let me just cut some basic white, and then we've got both. Hi, Joan. How are you? Have you had a nice day today? We've had some beautiful weather here in the Southern Highlands today. It's been lovely and sunny and warm. And you can tell that even though I know we're still going to get some more winter weather yet, but spring is getting closer, because some of the trees at the supermarket yesterday had buds on them. So I'm still deciding whether we're going to go the white or the very vanilla. But what I am thinking is that we could add, the only colour I didn't think of adding into this. Okay, this says the only colour I didn't think about putting in this is Moody Mauve. Aren't I naughty? I didn't think of pulling that one out, and no one told me. I threw the dice before, Joan, and what we've come up with is we're going to be using in colours. We're going to be using a standard card. It's going to be Sympathy card. We're going to have a die cut on it and two-step stamping. And I didn't even consider Moody Mauve. Oh, well, I've pulled all the other colours out now. I'm terrible. And what I'm sort of thinking is not necessarily spots. I do like that. And I think I am going to go to my basic white. Our card is 10.5 wide, so I think I'm going to cut this at, and I want my lines going across, probably by 7. We'll start with that by 14.4. Oh dear, I ate dinner so quickly, I've got a little bit of the hiccups. So we're going to pop that onto there. And that's my card front. I'm going to die cut that's going to go there. Now, do I go a bigger circle or do I go a smaller circle? I think the smaller one be a good one, because so I want to die cut that. This really makes you think when you do cards by throwing the dice. You really don't know what you're going to be getting. So I'm usually someone who likes to plan everything out before I start. And with this style of card making, I can't plan a thing. It is literally whatever happens. Okay. So there's my die cut piece. Because the other thing I could have used too for that die cutting would have been, it's a new one I haven't used a lot of. Is it the Nested Essential Dies? Because the alternative would be to use even something like that. Okay, we might do a little bit more die cutting. So I'd use that as well as the circle. Just having a look to see where my Moody Mauve is. And that may even work on this. Let's have a play, since that's what tonight is all about, is having a play. Of course, I'm getting my usual little pile of bits and pieces piling up here. So what have you all been up to today? Do anything special? Go anywhere? Make anything? I'm having an unusual quiet week from alterations. No one has really booked in for anything to be done, which has been nice. So it's enabled me to catch up with doing some more card making, and I'm trying to get myself back into doing a few more challenges, which has been really good. So tomorrow I should have a new post up on my blog about the challenge I was working on today, I should say. Okay then, so let's have a look. So I've got a few die cuts here. So if I put that one about there, that can go about there. May even cut this DSP down a little bit yet. Okay, so let's have a look at our Sympathy. So we've got with Deeper Sympathy, we're going to use that. That's that particular stamp just there. We're going to stamp that onto Thinking of stamping that onto there. Is that going to be too big? Might leave that for a second. Let's have a look at, so we're going to do two-step stamping, and the one I'm wanting to use is this one here. So we're going to use this particular stamp there, and this is a photopolymer. So I'm going to need so we're going to use that one. Make sure when you've got your photopolymer, you peel them off your cover, not just pull them off. You want this to peel off a little bit because you don't want to stretch your stamps. I'm going to need some white, a couple of blocks, block for that one as well. And I don't want Moody Mauve, but I do want this one. Now, normally I would stamp a lot of these in green because they are leaves, but I'm going to use wild wheat. I need to get a back of a spoon and just spread that ink around a little bit. And then I'm going to take that and I'm going to stamp off because I just want this to be a little bit lighter. And I just realised I should have used my foam mat underneath. I do have a big wad of paper here though, so I'm probably fairly safe, but let me grab my mat anyway. Let's move those out of the road. I think I need to go over that ink pad with a spoon and just spread that ink out. So now I just want to clean these up. Really good clean. And I might also do the same with copper clay. Now I've got to remember I need to get my punch in here to cut these out. And of course I've got it going the wrong way, but anyway, that's okay. Move that so I don't get. So there's that little bit there. Stamp that one. And again, I'm going to stamp that off because I want this to be lighter. Moment I'm just cutting one or two, or stamping one of each colorway at the moment. I want to use a few of the different colors. Line that up. Don't necessarily want those little ones, but that's... Then let's just clean those. I might stamp one in pecan pie. See how that looks. Stamp that one off. Okay, let's just start putting this all together and seeing how this is all going to work. It's all very squeaky when it's a new stamp and cleaning them. Okay, let's pop that away. Let's bring in these. And we might cut this down a bit. Let's cut it 7. And let's just make it 6. I don't want to cut it any smaller than that because I don't want it to look like it's half the card. So that's going to go there. Put those on there. Those 3 can all go top of each other like that. So then I might use the Pebble Path. So I'm actually using all the colours pretty much in one way or another on this card. If you don't want a black or a dark colour, like a real dark colour for your sentiments, Pebble Path I've used a couple of times is a really nice alternative. So there's the Sympathy. Okay, let's just lay this all out one more time. So we want that to there. Do we have this? I'm just wondering whether we should put a little bit of texture on that. Then if we're going to have all of these on here, it might be enough. Okay. So let's start gluing this down and let's have a look. So we've used our in colours. We've made a standard card. We've got a sympathy. We've got die cuts, and I've done two-step stamping. So I've covered everything in the dice. Keeping this just to quite a simple card today. Let's pop that onto there. Got this little piece here which I cut off, and that's the piece that's going to go on the inside. So I'm just wondering whether might just stamp this in just the one colour, I think. I need that matte. Just putting a little bit of a trim inside our card. So let's just give this a little bit of a crease here, just to. Okay, so we've got that. I want to pop that there, I think, or maybe a little bit further that way. Whoop. Now that's going to go there, but that may go up onto some dimensionals as yet. So let's just stick this down a little bit. Just putting a little bit of glue on that stem. I want the gold one to go next. And just layer those on top of each other. Now, it's whether I want to pop that up. I've actually just got sitting here is the jute trim. This is in the Moody Mauve. Just trying to find the end to it. There we go. Now, just going to, because it's got a fair bit of curl in that, I just want to I don't usually like using this at full thickness. I usually strip it down, but just wondering how it will go. Just try that again. Just run my nail down that a few times just to see if I can get that curling out. Playing with this jute, it's got a lot of fibre on it. Put that over the top of that. That's actually going to cover up that sympathy. I don't really want to do that. Let's try something else. Okay. Now take some seal. Just put a bit of seal on the back of that. Just stick that down on the back there. Just going to might need to put another length of it on there yet. Don't want it to look like it's Can't get this quite way I want it today. I think I'm just going to have to go back to splitting it the way I like. Just want a bit of softness to it. Sometimes you just don't want too much hard. Even though a sympathy card is not always like, you don't want it to be too feminine, you still want a bit of softness or gentleness to it, because it is still a time that you want to have compassion and so forth. So you want really that to come out in your card. Even if you're giving it to a male, you don't need to have a lot of harshness to it. So I still just want to have a little bit of that's probably a lot better. Just take that in a bit more. Just letting that thread just loop around where it wants to go. Oh, with it having a little bit of a say in it. There you go. Wants to do its own thing, and that will work. Keep that bit for next time. Grab some dimensionals. And this will also help with keeping all these bits and pieces down. Make sure I've got that coming out. Don't want it too short. Okay. So very quick and simple card tonight. So I think we've my work area is getting smaller and smaller. Clean it up again. So there's our sympathy card. So we've used our in colors. We've got a standard type card. We've done a sympathy. We've used die cuts, and we've done a little bit of two-step stamping. With that now, of course, we could add a little bit of bling, not too much. What have I got here? Could use some of those. Don't want it to look too blingy, if that's a word. Actually, what have I got? I've got to go through my bling and work out what is still current and what is not current, because I'm sure that some of this is gone already. Put it in my $2 box for my class. I'm looking for something in particular. There we go. I'm actually looking for those. This is the rusty metallic, because they're not quite black or white, but they've just got a little bit of interest to it. I think we might just put one there. One there. Oops, not quite underneath there. Just a little bit like that. Actually, I might move that one down just below that. Let's just bring your eye into that. So there we are. So there's our sympathy card. Hi, Deb. How are you? Hi, Deborah. Glad you're able to join us. Oh, I said hello to you earlier, didn't I, Deborah? That's okay. I've been concentrating. Okay, so there's our card. We've used all that our dice have showed us. I hope you've enjoyed that. If you are interested in getting a set of these dice, ask me. I have got them. I've got a friend of mine who makes them for me. I've got 2 sets here, and they're about $25, and then postage on top of that, which would be $9.95, $9.40 or $9.50, something like that. So if you're interested in the dice, I can only sell them here in Australia. I'm not selling them overseas. So, but I've got 2 sets, and if I get more than a couple of people asking for them, then I can maybe order some more. I'll have to find out whether my friend can still do them for me. So there's our card. Hope you've enjoyed that. As I said earlier, all the products I've used are Stampin' Up products. You can purchase them on my online store, which is at michele.trissa.stampinup.net. And you just make sure that at the top, if you're ordering anything, that my name is on there. So then you know that you're ordering through me. Hi, Rose. How are you? You snuck in there. Great to have you join us tonight. Okay, well, thank you. If you want, I'll be doing another live on Friday at 1 o'clock during the day, so you can join me on Friday if you wish. Otherwise, I will see you all again next Tuesday, and we'll make another card. And have a lovely week. See you all later. Thank you for joining. Bye for now.